Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Racing Unleashed, where we are here, brand new studio for this 2024 season. Not just a brand new studio, brand new experiences for a lot of drivers and new drivers this year that join the Racing Unleashed channel and package. What a 2024 we have in store for you this season. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're here today for some Challenger League iRacing action. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, in the commentary box and bringing you all the action from today's iRacing event here in our brand new studio, all thanks to the Apex team. It is fantastic, looking absolutely beautiful, and it is great to be here bringing you the action once again for 2024. A lot in store this year that will bring a lot of excitement and joy for drivers, and obviously a lot of great racing that we're going to see throughout this 2024 season. iRacing and Assetto Corsa will be the platforms that we compete on this year. Today it is the iRacing platform around the Hockenheim ring then. A fantastic legendary circuit that is absolutely brilliant to race around, and what a car we have for you as well, the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. It is fantastic piece of equipment. It is a fantastic atmosphere. The new thing for you fellow viewers who have been here for a long time with Racing Unleashed is that these drivers will now be racing from their homes, their bedrooms, living rooms, wherever they are, they will be racing from there. Not our fancy simulators that you're used to seeing. This is now a new challenge for them where they get to compete from their own homes on the iRacing platforms. Obviously, the simulators and everything that we see will be coming in the future, and obviously later in the year, as well as a couple of special events early on in this calendar year. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We can, though, now take a look at some of the hardware of the simulators with James Walker.
Thing is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy, and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very tricky indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
And thank you, James. Obviously, for the regular viewers, who will know the machinery that we operate with here at Racing Unleashed, and they are fantastic pieces of equipment. Like we said, they will be in the Assetto Corsa packages later this month and throughout the back end of the season. It is great to be here, though, as we are in the iRacing platform this afternoon, and of course in 2 weeks' time for some Challenger League bits. But we're going to now hear from our owner and CEO, Francesco Fernandez.
Dear friends of motorsports, dear sim racing community, I'm Francisco Fernandez, founder and CEO of Racing Unleashed, and I'm thrilled to invite and welcome you to our series. At Racing Unleashed, our goal is to put a dent into the universe of motorsports, breaking down barriers and making motorsports accessible for everyone, everywhere. With our state-of-the-art simulators, we bridge the gap between the virtual world and the physical world of racing. Our racing lounges do not only provide you exposure to state-of-the-art technology, but also ensures for fairness in sports, harmonizing software, hardware to give everybody the same chances to win. Additional to that, being the owner of probably the most beautiful and exclusive racing resort in the world, Ascari in southern Spain, I'm dedicated to scout the best talents in sim racing and bring them to the real track and real cars. Join us on this exciting journey and help us to become the most exciting and engaging motorsports in the world. Follow us as we expand our reach, coming to the town next to you globally. I'm also dedicated to make sim racing careers true careers for you. This year, we are excited that we've added iRacing to our offering, immersing ourselves even deeper into your hearts. Now you can compete even from the coziness of your own home and race for prize money. So I wish you herewith best of luck, may the best win, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in one of our racing lounges. Thank you very much, Francisco.
Thank you very much, Francisco. Obviously, like he says, it is a new era for Racing Unleashed this year, and we're bringing you some fantastic action on the iRacing platform today. A very special look at the heats and the B final, if you will, the format of today and of some of the events over the next 2 weeks. We have the Challenge League, and then in 2 weeks' time, the Race League, which will be the same event as today. And obviously, going forward in iRacing, events may change, cars may change, tracks may change as well for these drivers. And so, as we said, we're here at the Hockenheim ring. We are in the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. There it is on your screen now. Fantastic piece of machinery there. Top speed of 282 kilometers an hour, 0 to 100 in 2.9 seconds, 510 horsepower. Absolutely fantastic, and a lovely job on the Racing Unleashed livery there that you can see. But the format is fantastic. It is going to bring some interesting rallycross style racing to Racing Unleashed today. As you see there, all the drivers will take part in a qualifying session. Then they will get separated into 2 heats. Heat 1 will be the odd numbered drivers, followed by Heat 2, the even numbered drivers. The top 8 drivers from the heats will progress straight to the A final, with the bottom part of that grid going into the B final for both Heat 1 and 2. Then from the B final, the top 6 drivers of that will go into that A final, where the A final it is all to play for. That is where the final classifications will be for them drivers, and then a bit of prize money as well for the top 3 in that final race. And it is a fantastic opportunity to see what these drivers will be capable of doing. Obviously, there will be a few familiar names if you are a regular viewer to Racing Unleashed, as well as some brand new names. So, as always, as we saw last year in the Racing Unleashed world, bear with us on the pronunciation of these names. We will get them by the end of the year. Obviously, big job for a lot of drivers. Already looking at the list in front of me, you can see some regulars like Christoph Holstein out there on track, as is Mario Stanek at the moment. And a look behind me over my shoulders now to the Hockenheim Ring circuit. Obviously, famous German circuit. Brilliant action. Not been around in the Formula One as much of late. Obviously, we've had some dramas in the Formula One the last couple of times we've been there, but we take here today. Big track for the DTM guys in the real world, and what a section we have. As you see there, turn 2, 3 and 4 before that long straight. Bit of a curve to the left as you come down towards the hairpin. Probably a great opportunity for drivers today to make some overtaking happen then before you come down to the middle sector, which is a little different. It's sort of, you know, bit of twists and turns, a few faster sections than that first part of the lap where you're sort of at the slower speeds of the track. Coming into turn 7, flat right-hander. And again, just a fantastic circuit, one of Germany's finest. Obviously, between that and the Nürburgring, it's probably one of the best circuits in Germany. And then obviously the twistier middle section, you see that we are just coming around. These are great camera shots that we have over the Hockenheim Ring circuit here. Brilliant to see the challenge of what these drivers will take on. You come then through turn 11 towards the stadium area. Sebastian Vettel had his famous crash there where he went off a few years ago in a Ferrari. And again, a very difficult chance for drivers. You've got to get this last sector perfectly right to set yourself up for a good run to the line, and maybe a good run into turn 1 for some overtaking in the races a little later on. 17 corners. 16, sorry, apologies, behind me over my shoulder on this layout. It is fantastic, 4.574 kilometers long, and what a track the Hockenheim Ring really is. It is absolutely brilliant. We are, though, going to head into the qualifying session for this first event of the season. We're all looking forward to this one. It is a lone qualifying session as well, so drivers will be out on the circuit one at a time, and I do believe that we are on board with Knopfel here. Coming down the start straight. He's exited the final corner. One thing you will notice this year as well, obviously not just in the Porsche Cup car for this week and the Racer League in 2 weeks' time. They run their own liveries, and we get to see their onboard action, as we've seen the camera angles many a time in our Racing Unleashed lounges. We get to see the drivers in their own homes taking on with their simulators, their equipment, and we get to see what they can do. And here is our Swiss driver, first man currently we get to see in this new era for Racing Unleashed. It is Henry Jocelyn, currently the fastest man out there with a 140.191 on the circuit. Here he is, beautiful light green livery, and you see him there in his simulator at home, and a good tilt of the head there. That's what we all like to see in a sim racer, a good tilt of the head as he goes through all the corners there. That is brilliant. Lovely bright green livery for Henry today. Great to see through the middle sector, just bouncing over the curb. You just see the car get a little jumpy there as he took a little too much close to the wall as he can, down a few gears, up over as much curb as he can, run it out wide, a little too wide there, drops a wheel or two into the gravel, and that there you see he's bailed on his lap. He's already affected his run. That is bailed. Another driver there dropping into the lap. That is Jordi P11, our Dutch driver for Alpha Esports. Light blue and green, lovely liveries we get to see on these cars as well this year. Obviously brand new for Racing Unleashed, not just iRacing, but the whole liveries and decals a little wider than he'd possibly liked through that final part, setting himself up for a good run down the start straight and over the line. Now does he improve? No, stays where he is, P11 at the moment. That last lap was a 141.717. Here is Luke Pennington then, all white livery for him. Better line into that final corner, on board him now. Does he take as much? He does. Close to dropping a wheel in the gravel trap on the outside. Movement up and down the grid though for Pennington at the moment. We are on board him. He's yet to set a lap time, so he's going to be looking to get as good a lap time as he can on the board. Every driver coming across. So Pennington yet to set a lap and is currently coming in towards turn 2. You hear him coming down the gears. Here is Garcia through the final corner as well. Yet to put a lap on the board, crosses the line, starts his lap now. As my timing screen updates, moved himself up to P14. So for Garcia then, moving up that leaderboard already. Great start for him to see. No webcam on board him. Jack Badger, Alpha Esports. Nice transition from the blue to the green there. That is a lovely looking livery as well. Fully focused as he comes flat out down towards a hairpin. Heavy braking zone. Currently P12 is Badger. 0.4 of a second off the back of the leader. You see Racing Unleashed on his wing mirrors there. Fantastic. Nicely done. Nicely done. Not too early on the power. Very patient. And down he comes once again, flat out through this right-hander then. What's his sector times looking like? Not too bad at the moment. Not too bad. They're not the best. He could improve in that middle sector slightly. That's where his best time is so far. A bit quicker than a few drivers around him there is Harry Maynard moves up into P6. So he just climbs up the leaderboard a little bit. We're seeing a few regular names on there as well. But for Badger then, into this final stadium section, he comes now. Lovely lap this has been. It's been nice and patient and calm. Just looking at them sector times once again. Absolutely flying at the moment is Badger. Car number 17. All get to run their own numbers this year as well. So you can identify which driver is which. And he's through the final corner. Get a good run. Patient on the power. You just heard how tentative he was to get the foot down. Comes to the line now. Any improvement for him? No. Stays P14 there then for Jack Badger. 140.6 was his last lap. He was a 10th down on his best lap. Here is Berger then. Privateer. Last lap a 140.9, his best is a 140.4. He as well is just under 0.5 of a second off the back of the leader, our Swiss driver. Fantastic to see these iRacing cars, a black and red livery then as he comes down into the hairpin. Deep once again on the braking zone, picks up the apex, nicely done, just wait to get on the power and he does beautifully there. And away he comes now down towards that middle sector he goes. Flat through the right hand and not even a lift through there. Now again hard on the brakes as you go from left of right. Pick up your apex, try not to hit too much of the sausage curb on that inside. He doesn't drift it out as far wide as a few drivers we've seen. A lot of curb through the right hander and gets it all out of shape, and that'll have to be his lap done there. He'll have to go again a little later on. What a shame for him there, because it looked all right to start with. Here is Greaser in the blue liveried Porsche Cup car, then down in 31st at the moment, yet to set a lap time. The number 2 car comes to the line now. Is he going to put one inside that top 31? Let's have a look and see. And he does. He goes P21. So a decent lap there for him, 140.7. Obviously a bit of work to do to gain onto the back of the leaders at the moment. As here's Damir Makhmutov. 140.357 last time around was his best lap. He comes through the final corner now. A lot of curb on that inside through the final corner. Use a lot of the runoff. Just drops a wheel on the grass and gravel. He's going to come to line. He's needed it to be a good lap to improve. He doesn't and stays P10. Rounded out at the moment. So a good... a little mistake, sorry, at the end of that lap. Just possibly cost him a 10th or 2. Here's Gerard then. P6, the Spaniard for Cabano Esports. 140.2. His best lap was his last lap. So he's going to look to improve. P6 at the moment, 2.273 off the leaders, comes to the line. And again, no improvement for him there. And that is the end of qualifying then. So Miroslav Svoboda is going to be provisional pole, but obviously, as we said, this will go into then the 2 heats. The odd number drivers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, for example, will then take to heat 1. The even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 will all go into heat 2. This then is your grid order. Svoboda then P1 overall with Shot P2, the Swiss driver. Henry Jocelyn is P3 with Gomez P4. P5 is Jatatas, the Lithuanian driver, Finnish driver of Sepanya, in P6. Then it is Griffin, P7, Jack Badger, P8. Augustin Torlacci, regular face from Racing Unleashed last year. He's P9 with David Vicente in P10. Oscar Soltero is P11 with Tyler Klausch, another regular Racing Unleashed driver, in P12. P13 then is Garcia with Hapanya in P14. Plesky, 15th place with Ethan Green, P16. James Torsion in P17. And then Shiva Nath, 18th place. Marco Hack is P19, bringing up the top 20 on the grid order. So we have about 1 minute for the drivers to prepare and get themselves ready for this race, as there's everybody lined up on the grid. Obviously, the odd numbered drivers will take to the grid for this race, and that will be the grid order that you've just seen there in this first one. So this is Heat 1. Remember, the top 8 drivers from Heat 1 will then go into the final. The bottom drivers out of that list, so the bottom 8 will then drop into the B final for the top heat. For Heat 2, with the even driver numbers, they will go as well. We are green and go, though, here for the first heat out of 2 today. It's not a great start from the green car on the second, third row. He's very twitchy on the accelerator as they get away, and it's a good start for the black car out front. So far, so well as they come through turn 1. All looks pretty even. There's a spinner in the background. Looks like he's lost it all on his own. Not sure who that is, but it's Jack Badger, who's now 3 wide, getting squeezed into turn 2. Now turn 3, a few cars very deep at turn 2 as well. Little rubbing and bumping, but that's all fine in a car. And that is a spinner there. Not sure who that one is, tumbling down the order. Manages not to collect the rest of the pack. That is Sepanian then, who has had a big moment coming onto the first straight and really lost it all on his own, but a battle for the lead in his Shot versus Svoboda then. Into the hairpin, up the inside, Shot goes, gains that place already. Fantastic move. Torlacci's up to P6. He's just lost out to Soletro then, and a few more cars off as well. Down at the hairpin, as we have an upside down driver webcam there. I can assure you he is the right way up. As Shot then leads this race in towards the middle sector for the first time. He comes through left, right. He's got Svoboda right on the back of him. And then it is Gomez with Badger just lingering in the background, not able to keep with the top 3 at the moment, as Hinwist is out of this race. And Jatatas has returned to the pits as well. There is Augustin Torlacci, regular face for the viewers here at Racing Unleashed, up 3 spots from his grid position. And now he comes into the left-hander of the stadium section, right on the back of Soletro here then. The Argentinian driver picked up a few races on the Racing Unleashed calendar last season, was in for the championship till the very end of the season. Now what can he do on his adventure into iRacing here? So far, so good. P6 for Augustin, very determined driver. We know that one if you are a regular viewer from last season. Shop, though, absolutely fantastic action from him. P1 and is comfortably controlling this race after the first minute. We're on lap 2. It is a 15-minute timed race. You just see that car just getting a little wiggly on acceleration out of turn 2 there. Onto the straight he goes. Doesn't try and use too much of the curb on the outside. He's now got to give that slipstream up to Sabata then, who will be all over the back of him come that hairpin. It's who's going to be latest on the brakes by the time you get to that hairpin corner. And no lunges from Sabata in the background, just patiently waiting on. Gets very close to the rear wing then of Shop, but doesn't get close enough to make a move. It is a great battle so far. Gomez in P3, just lingering in the background. 6/10 separate them all. And who is that? That is Jocelyn, dropping down the order in the green Porsche, down to 9th place. So he's had a mistake coming out the hairpin somewhere. Was the contact? Was it all on his own? Not sure. But he now right up the boot again of Hapanya there. And P8, P9, obviously the top 8 qualify then into that A final a little later on in the programme. But for Jocelyn, needs to make up that one position. Otherwise, he'll have to do it all again on the B final after the 2 heats. And you just see Hapanya there getting all a little wiggly on the rear end over the curbs, and that's allowed Jocelyn to get really close in the stadium section. Not a place to really overtake, but you can set yourself up down towards turn 1. He's going to have a look for a move, though, up the inside through the left hand of the penultimate corner, and that is a great manoeuvre. Great respect from both drivers, and really took his opportunity there, did Jocelyn. Moves himself back up into P8, and now Hapanya, with a poor run, he's now under pressure from the cars behind. Here's Nath and Green looking to put him under some pressure into turn 2. 3 minutes 42 of this race has gone. And Green now having a look at Nath, who's having a look at Hapanya up the inside into turn 2. Sends one up the inside, and another fantastic manoeuvre. Hapanya's just got himself a little bogged down since that final sector. Oh, and he's tapped Green there. Green has gone around, and Hapanya there has just made a little contact with Green. And what a shame, because Green was looking a little racy outside that top 8. He's now tumbled down the standings back to the leaders, though. Real fight for 3 for the lead. Shop, Sabata and Gomez. Gomez just dropping off the back of the 2 leaders a little bit. But I'm sure for Shop here then, he's going to absolutely just defend and try and give his best here. He's currently leading, obviously, the heat. Doesn't mean anything. It's been a pride for himself to win this heat. A bit of momentum going forward into that A final. So a chance really here to see what he can do. And he comes through the right-hander in towards the stadium section. And look at how much the drivers want to just push the limits here. There is Gomez into the stadium section now, and just loses a bit of time through the middle part of this lap. He was within that 4/10 window. He's just dropped back to half a second now. Gomez as well, just losing out a bit more. So for Shop, really putting himself in a comfortable position here with 5 minutes through this race, 10 minutes to go. And it is absolutely fantastic. We can take a look at a few replays. Here's the start, and it was not a good start for the green car on the second row of the grid. Just couldn't get on the accelerator. And there you see that Tyler Klausch making contact into turn 1. He got spun around, and there is the blue and black car getting absolutely out of shape. Jocelyn down the inside after he'd had that horrible start, tries to send one up past 3 or 4 cars, just forces a couple a little wide, and didn't manage to get the job done there. Vicente late on the brakes at the hairpin, day late, dollar short, 2 spun around there. And Ethan Green, look, we just saw a moment ago, just tries to get alongside. As in the live action then, Torlachi's made a mistake, a horrible mistake for Augustin Torlachi. Tumbles down to P8. Now for Jocelyn, he's trying to fight back in this as well. He's up the inside of Vicente as well. Through the right-hander they go. Can he hold that inside line? They both from wide. And Jocelyn there manages to get it done. But what has happened to Augustin Torlachi was so deep at the hairpin corner. He's lost a few places, and so David Vicente up 3 places from his grid spot. But Jocelyn clearly on a mission to make up time after he'd lost out during that start that he had. Last lap of 140.3, fastest lap of 140.309. So only half a tenth actually off the fastest lap of the race. Great to see for Jocelyn making his way through the pack, and he's an aggressive driver. It looks like he's going to stop at nothing to get his way through. And it is going to be interesting to see. Shop, though, back within 4/10 out front. This is Vicente and Augustin Torlacci. Then Torlacci wants to stay inside that top 8. You've got Nath just in the background looking on. Can't do anything about it so far. Here he is looking back from Vicente's rear wing. Kurama Motorsport there as Torlacci gets a hell of a run through turn 1, up the inside towards turn 2. Can he make this one stick? He absolutely can. He's going to be on the outside though for the little kink of 3. And is this going to work? I believe Torlacci's ahead. He is indeed. And he did a great move for Augustin Torlacci. Capitalised on the momentum through turn 1. And that is a lovely manoeuvre indeed. Gets his way up. And now as they come to the hairpin, it is all going to happen here. What has happened to Shop? Because he's been caught over the last few laps. Gap was just over half a second. It's now under 4/10. And on the timing screens, Vicente as well has got himself back ahead of Torlacci, so may have got that done at the hairpin. But for Shop, he's had a bit of traffic in front of him. I believe he saw somebody just ahead. I don't think there is. Shop then, able to now carry on his way. No traffic in front, so I don't know what I've just seen there. But for Shop, he's gone through the middle sector. He seems to be losing a bit of pace here, though. So is this Sabota coming back at him later on in this race? Obviously, top 8 qualify through Heat 1 into that final at the end of today's programme. And everybody below that will qualify for the B final with a chance to qualify for the outright final after. A Shot there, dips a little wheel into the gravel once more. That's going to lose some momentum. Good final sector for him, though. Just open that gap back up, and it's all about this crucial turn 1. All over the curbs there is Shop. And already defends that inside line, comes back across. You see the gap between the two of them, how it's come down and ebbed and flowed throughout this first part of the race. That is from lap 1 to 5. We are on lap 6. 8 minutes 53 have gone in this race. We're approaching that 9-minute mark. 15-minute timed race here. We have lost 2 drivers at the start. Again, just gaining in the slipstream, but not gaining enough. Sabota just patiently waiting for that door to open. A little mistake from Shot, maybe back down to Augustin Torlacci then, looking up the inside towards the hairpin. Does he get it done at the hairpin this time? Locks up a little bit there. That's just pushed Vicente a little wider. Couldn't turn in as early as he'd have liked there because Augustin Torlacci locked up his front right. But Torlacci gets the move done. He's into P7. And now has to defend solid again for the remainder of this lap. From Vicente. Nath getting a little closer in the background as well, so he might fancy a look at this top 8. That'll put him through automatically at the end of this one. But for Torlacci here, it's been an absolute fantastic start to his race. Car number 30, and he's up 2 positions in this race already. Soletro in P5, he's gained 6 places, and Nath, the car behind him, P9, he's gained 9 in this race so far. So he's had an absolute fantastic race at the moment. Torlacci just patient on the throttle. Here is Sepanian then, our Finnish driver, down in P15 with Tyler Klaus just in front. Coming through the final part of the lap. So P15, 19 seconds off the lead. He's about 9 seconds from Vicente, but with just under 5 minutes remaining in this race, it's going to be a lot of work for Sepanian to do then, if he's to get inside that top 8. Here's a battle for the lead, though. Shop now coming under immense pressure. That gap is under a 10th. The slipstream taking full effect. Now defends that inside line. Sabodia then coming to the outside of the hairpin. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? Can they get it stopped? Very nicely done from the pair of them on the apex. Nobody locking up. This is bringing Gomez into play as well, and Shop manages to cleverly defend his position. A puff of the cheeks there you see on the webcam. Hard work he's finding this one now. Really is starting to come under pressure from Sabodia in the background, who again just defends the middle of the road, not really defending the full inside. Knows that he's already committed to the outside to Shop, so can just relax a little bit. And this is a fantastic battle that we're seeing already in this race. It's 3 for the lead with 3.5 minutes left really in this race, and the wipers on. There is no rain for Sabodia in the background. But here he goes, Shop in the lead from Sabodia. Gomez P3, Badges P4, the British driver, apologies. He's 4.8 off the back of these, so not really in this fight for the lead group here. But it is the first sector that Sabodje is really, really overpowering Shop. Just looking on the last lap, he's done the fastest lap of the race. His last lap, very, very even here, 141.7, 141.7, only 0.04 of a second within that. So this is great to see. Gomez was actually quicker by 0.6 of a second on the last lap. That's because these two are battling for position. That, though, will bring Gomez right into play. Gap's a little bigger than it was this time last out. So Shop may not have to defend as hard going into the hairpin. He's probably going to cover that inside line just in case. Although all these drivers will know that this is just the heat. The final's coming up. Would Sabodje maybe commit to a bit more of a lunge up the inside? He's going to try the outside line. He's missed his braking. He's gone so very deep. And Gomez, as easy as you like, will not need a second invitation. He's side by side, though, as they come to the right-hander. Gomez will have that inside line. And Sabodje there maybe just running out of a little patience. Somehow hangs onto it. Great momentum through the outside. And fantastic for Sabodje to hang on to that position. There is David Vicente. He's now out of the race, down in 17th place. He's returned to the pits. So the leaders just spread out a little bit here with 2 minutes remaining in this one. And for Sabodje there then, it was a mistake at the hairpin. Manages to hold on to P2, but that will give Shop a lot of breathing space. Here's Augustin Torlachi and Nath, who's got ahead of Vicente. Yeah, he's the guy who was running in that P8 position. He's out of this race. He's into the pit lane, a retirement for him. So Nath now moves into 8th place, with Garcia now putting pressure on him to qualify outright for this final. Alpha Esports, the team for Nath. And he's hanging on here. Fantastic little fight this is for that P8 position. It is really key here to see what Nath can do. Looking at my timing screens here, he's a B licensed driver, whereas everybody else is an A licensed driver. So really putting the cat amongst the pigeons here. And Garcia will want to get straight into that final. Is he going to pull out and have a look? No, he's not. Potentially the final lap of this race here then, depending on where Shop is on circuit, probably coming down towards the hairpin now. And we've also lost Tyler Klaus, who's out of this race. He's down in 16th place. He's now out of this race. So what a shame for Tyler Klaus. And now Nath defends the inside. They come down to the hairpin. The slipstream in full effect. Is he going to look for the cutback here? No, he's committed to the outside. He goes a little deep though, does Garcia. And that is not going to happen for him. But for Shop then, it looks like this could potentially be a race win on the cards. There is only 21 seconds left of this race. Sabodje here has really got on the back of him once again, but I think it's too little too late. Just made that mistake at the hairpin that has put him out of favour. It's going to require a mistake from Shop then. Pascal Shop, who is going to come through to take the first heat win of the Racing Unleashed iRacing Challenger League Series. And he rounds the penultimate corner, barring a catastrophic mistake. Shop then rounds the final corner. He will come to the line, and he's going to take the heat win. Fantastic for him. Great drive. Sabodje and Gomez will round out the top three. Then it will be Badger and Jocelyn, who's got some good pace, just a poor start. They are 4th and 5th. Saletro P6. Torlachi will hang on for P7, and Nath will get that P8. That will be the top 8 going straight through to the final. Garcia, Pleski, Hack, Hapanya and Sepinen come across the line. P13, they will all drop into the B final then, as will a few of the other drivers. So a great drive there. Fantastic battle between the top 3 of Shop, Sabodje and then Gomez. Fantastic three-way fight all the way through that one. Just looking at some of the comments here. Gary asking where he takes his place on the grid. Well, it's simple. Go to Racing Unleashed on the internet. Join their Discord. iRacing, as long as you've got the correct iRating, you will be able to take part in this Challenger League / Racer League events then. Heat 2, Luke Pennington will be pole position with Lawn P2. Gerard Sardini will be P3. Maynard P4. Mark Mutov will be P5. Berger P6. Galtsev P7. Nopal P8 with Christoph Holstein P9. Van Grusen P10. Greece will be P11. And Castra P12. Nico Farland, P13, Spetness, P14, Fernandez, P15, Rattini, 16th, Muth, P17, Demori, and then Stanik Louise. Rounding out the top 19, we are green and go straight for Heat 2. Good start from a couple of cars at the back already pulling out on drivers ahead. Nobody looked like they got bogged down here, and it is fantastic launch, and that is from Pennington out front already. Gets himself a nice little gap spinner in the background. Somebody's had to go very wide to avoid him, and that, I believe, I'm not sure who that is actually tumbling down the order, but we're on with Greece here in the 9th place. Nice trophy on display on the webcam shot there, but Pennington already checked out up front. He's gone so far. Fantastic launch from him as they all come through. Here is Christoph Holstein. Great to see Christoph back. Obviously, Racer League driver last year. Took a great win at the Red Bull Ring last season and is looking to get through to the final heat here in this Challenger League event. Here is Caserta, and that has not gone well. There's another one behind. Big contact in the middle on the exit, and now they've all been tapped around. Muth involved in that one with the VR headset on. Not sure who was late on the brakes. But yeah, not what you want to see. Lap 1 early doors and more contact made. And I believe that is Stanik Louise who got the tap. And the purple car spun right around, but for Luke Pennington, the British driver here, absolutely going great guns so far. 1.2 second lead, has not looked back from the start of this race. And then it is Lon, Maynard, Sardini and Makhmutov, all in a little battle. Here is Maynard. Coming in to that stadium section through the final corner, penultimate corner and final corner they go. You're seeing the different lines of drivers as they try to avoid the cars in front, just keeping that momentum. That was Sardini, I believe, just dropping a wheel in the gravel. Look at this for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Fantastic little scrap. All battling for that final position. Rattiani is in the pits, so I'm not sure what has happened to him. He is out of this race, so that'll drop him down to P19. Maynard having to go on the defensive, as that is Sardini coming around the outside up into P3. Gets past Maynard then. 1.5 the gap out front. Lorne just trying to extend his gap over these drivers now battling out for P3. He's already got about a half a second gap, and now Maynard coming under pressure. He's having to defend the inside line. That is Makhmutov in the white car on the outside. Maynard very close to the rear wing, and is that going to allow Makhmutov to get a poor exit? No, manages to cover off then that of Holstein in P6. And this was looking on the rear wing then of Sardini. Here's Van Grusen then from the by 10th place. 2 places he's gained. He's into that 8th spot at the moment. He has got Demori on the back of him though, trying to take that 8th place away early in the race. Car number 32. And on the hunt, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th is in this little train we have at the moment. Pennington 1.5 out front. Lorne has cleared them by 0.6 of a second. And there you see the battle for 5th place. Look at that, 1.6 separating 5th to 9th. So a great fight here. And Demori, there's a spinner. Who's that? That's Makhmutov. Off into the wall. Was that all on his own? He was battling Maynard. Rejoins as safe as he possibly can. Dirty tyres into the wall, potentially a bit of damage for him as well. And he's now straight under pressure from Greiser. But Pennington out front, you have to say what a job this young man has done. 1.8 second lead he's got. Lorne has now come back under a bit of pressure from Sardini. That gap's down to 0.4 of a second, and Pennington's just checked out here in this race. He's not had a lot of work to do. There's the battle for 2nd. Maynard's just dropped off the back of Sardini then. Lorne having to just defend a little bit, our Italian driver from our Spanish driver in the North Sim Racing team for Lorne. Fantastic little fight this one, all up and down the grid. It's been great racing in these heats already, and obviously every driver trying to get themselves inside that top 8 position to get themselves into a final. They do have another chance though, the B final coming up shortly, or the consolation. The top 6 from that will go through to the final as well. So you've already seen top 8 go through. Here is Berger, P6, looking on the back of Christoph Holstein then. And Van Grussen behind, not really gaining on the back of him. Lon under pressure even more now from Sardini, who's got a bit of pace in his GT3 Cup car. Looks like he's got it well under control. He seems to carry such speed on corner exit. That's where he's making up a lot of his time. Through the corner, drops a wheel, both of them do into the gravel there. Now side by side, Muth and Forland in the VR headset. Brilliant to see, very difficult. But if you've got the practice, I suppose it's as easy for anybody. Muth and Forland. And then Galtsev in the background as well, but Sardini has got the job done for P2. Lon's going to come back at him round the outside at 3. Now it's about who's got the best straight line speed and who is going to be later on the break, side by side just about as they come down towards the hairpin corner. Then Muth has got past Galtsev, 4P12 and 13. And Sardini back up the inside. Is he going to look? Maynard may think of trying to follow him through at the hairpin corner. All get through. Here comes Maynard as well. A little wiggle that there is for Sardini there, who just lost the momentum through the hairpin corner. Now Maynard's going to have a look up the inside. Through the right-hander, flat they go. Very wide there, just within the track limits. And Sardini manages to keep hold of that P3. Absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look at some replays from the start of this race. It was a great launch from Pennington, who got off the line beautifully and got away. Bit of an incident at turn 1 there, just a side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and around he goes. Rattiani into the hairpin, day late, taller short. Temping bowling into the hairpin there, spins 3 cars around, and then again just more cars getting caught up in the dramas afterwards. Fernandez with, I believe it was Tyler Klausch at the time. And look at that, just narrowly avoiding the incident there. Makhmutov, lost it on his own. Lost it on his own, dropped a wheel over the curb into the wall that took him out of that top 8 battle. Nico Forland, left and right, all over the place, a raise of the hand. And he got a bit of a tap there that's put him off onto the gravel. He's now down to 13th place. Nico Forland as well, regular. He's slowing down here. Bit of loss of momentum possibly. Dirty tyres from just going on to that little visit on the grass. He's down to 14th. And again, a bit more shoulder to shoulder. That is with Makhmutov. You see Nico Forland again. He was up for the Challenger League Championship last time round. And Fernandez in the pits as well. So he's pretty much out of this one. We saw Rattiani as well, 44 seconds behind Christoph Holstein, up to P5. There is Christoph. Had the pleasure of meeting him last year. Fantastic young man, and he's now on a job to defend from Berger. The 2 Swiss drivers as they hunt down after Maynard. Pennington, 3.2 seconds in the lead. He has checked out in this one, 8 minutes in this race gone. 50-minute timed race, let's not forget. It's an absolutely fantastic job for Pennington. But now Holstein has got 2 cars on his rear wing and wants to make sure he can keep... 3 cars there. Didn't see Demori just peeking in the background. Christoph Holstein, fantastic job. You just see he gains a little bit through that stadium section of corners. Manages to just extend his gap. Good run through the final corner. Fantastic driver, Christoph Holstein, race winner in the Race League last year on the Assetto Corsa season. Here is Demori, P8, on the back of this pack behind Christoph Holstein. So he's got a job to do to make some moves. He's having a look at turn 2. That is over Van Grussen. Gets just alongside, bumper to bumper, not enough though. Good space given, couldn't get the move finished. On board him. Down towards the hairpin, you see the queue of cars there from Lorne. You just see in the distance. As now Holstein under some immense pressure. This is from Berger, the Swiss drivers. Berger later on the brakes, and Christoph Holstein, who's going to have that inside line, runs deep through the corner, and Holstein goes very wide on exit. Manages to get the power back down, does just enough to keep ahead there of Berger. And when you thought all was lost, Christoph Holstein manages to recover well. But is he starting to feel the pressure? That is Van Grussen now attacking the back of Berger here then. And this is what Holstein will want, these 3 to start fighting, to let him have a bit of respite and pull a gap between them. Christoph Holstein last time out, 140.8. Berger, a 140.9. Very similar in lap times. Fastest lap of this session is a 140.1 by Luke Pennington. And he has just checked out. This is Damori at the back of this train here. Then P8 for him at the moment. Oh, look at that. What a manoeuvre, sets him up and gets it lunged up the inside at the penultimate corner. Fantastic job, Damori. Moves himself up to P7. Capitalised on Van Groesven then. Did he make a little mistake somewhere through there? Because he's off the back now of Berger and Holstein, so Damori really capitalising. The top 8 quite spread, 7 seconds out of P9. So already the top 8 looking like they're comfortable of going through to that final heat today. Damori, a C-class licence, so really fighting with the big boys here today. Here is Galtsev in P11, fighting with Muth. I think he's just got past. No, he's just lost out to Muth. Apologies. There's Lon and Sardini. Hairpin corner. Lon on the outside, on the inside line. Covers it off once again. Maynard gets the undercut. And he's just trying to follow Lon through. But again, Sardini there just gets a better bit of momentum out the corner. A better launch through the hairpin corner. And manages to stay ahead of Maynard once again here then. Down to the battle back at 11th place. Castro then. With Muth, bit of shoulder to shoulder that. And again, what a view this is. He's watching on. This is 9th and 10th. Oh no. So late on the brakes into the rear quarter of the car ahead. Spins them both around. And they now join in the path there. Not sure who the blue car is. I believe that's Greaser then. And really stops his momentum coming through that middle set. Here it was. So what a shame. A silly mistake. Fernandez, the only car out of this race. Pennington 3.7 in the lead. He's checked out up front. He's flying at the minute. 11 minutes 54 seconds on the clock of this 15-minute race. Here is our race leader. And what a job he's done. He is absolutely flying down towards turn 2. There, you see the gap over Lon each lap. Now, is this Pennington's outright pace, or is this the fact that Lon is under pressure? I'm going to say the latter, because Lon has come under some immense pressure from Maynard and Sardini then all race, and that has not let up. This battle for the top 3, obviously top 8 qualify for the final. Everybody else will drop in to that consolation, that B final, if you will. Just follow each other through one by one. You just saw Sardini there just having a look on the exit up the inside. Can't get it done. Holstein still hanging on from Berger, Damori and Van Grunsven, sorry. In the background for P8, they are 10 seconds clear, so they are pretty much happy with that top 8. Looks confirmed for that final. Lot of movement down here then. And who is that around? But Makhmutov is now up into P10. That is... Spetnius, well, didn't look happy there. Was that a mistake? Was that his own mistake or a little bit of contact with another driver? There is Galtsev, P10, and ahead of this train, Greiser, Makhmutov, all in this one. And they've allowed Muth to get away, actually. So Muth, P9. Looks like that's where he's probably going to finish. Here is Greaser then. Look at Makhmutov in the background, just getting closer under the braking, letting it roll through the corner. Has to be patient. Has to be so very patient to not cause an incident here. A few more incidents in this second heat compared to the first. And a bit of a wide line there for Greaser out the final corner, all over the gravel and grass. He bounces his way back onto the start line and into turn 1 he goes. Very wide for both of them drivers through turn 1. Now look at the momentum that Makhmutov has. He goes to that outside line as Greaser defends the inside. Car's width left. He's going to try and go right around the outside of 2. He's probably gone a little deeper than he would have liked there to try and hang it into 3. And a little wiggle through 3. We saw him drop it on the curb all on his own a little earlier in the race. Maynard has fell right off the back of Sardini here. Looking at the timing screen, that's gone to 1.5 seconds. So not sure what has happened to Maynard there. His own mistake possibly, because he was behind Lon and Sardini. But he has fell right off the back of these two. So we're on to the final lap of this race, 15 seconds left, and take nothing away from Luke Pennington. Is he a favourite for the final coming up a little later on? Because he has had such a dominant display in this one. The British driver through the final couple of quarters, the timer ticks to 15 minutes. It will be the checkered flag here for Luke Pennington. It is going to be Heat 2 win for him. And a fantastic start to his iRacing day here at Racing Unleashed. Dominant lights to flag victory. Larn and Sardini come home second and third. Maynard, P4, fell off the cliff at the end. Holstein, Berger, Demori, Van Groesven, all into that final position. But for Grieser, he's not finished at the end. He's trying to defend from Makhmutov. This is for 11th and 12th. They'll be put into the B final, the consolation final, if you will. And they are fighting to the end. But Grieser there will come across and take the checkered flag as everybody else starts to file through as well. What a second heat that was for everybody there then as we get ready to go then in the B final. Absolutely fantastic. Again, what is the prize for winning the final? Well, I'm glad you've asked in the chat. The prize money for the Challenge League races, which these boys are competing for today, is €125 for the win, 75 for second and €50 for third place. When we come back in a fortnight's time, 2 weeks' time, for the Racer League, the prize money ups a little more, €200 for the win, 150 for second place and 100 for third. So a lot on store for these drivers to win today, as prize money is the way to go. This, though, is the grid order for the consolation final. Garcia from Muth, Plesky with Galtsev, Hack, Grieser, Apanya, Makhmutov, Sepinen, and then it is Castra, Green, and Nico Farland, Torsion, Nopal, Tyler Klausch, Spetkins, Vicente, Stanik Louise, Jotatus, Rattini, Henweist, and Fernandez, rounding out the grid. 22 drivers then in this B final. Once again, the top 6 drivers from this final will progress to the final to go with the top 8 from the 2 heats. So already 16 drivers there, adding another 6 to the heat, to the final race. For them drivers, they get 10 minutes, I do believe. 10 minutes, yeah, I do believe so, of relaxation and just a chance to get out the simulators and have a stretch. The red lights come on the screen now. It is green and go here for the consolation final, and it is a good start in the middle of the pack already. A bit of contact straightened up though midfield from being spun around into the pit wall, and a great start out front from the 2 leaders who have gapped the pack already. Was that a car exiting the pit lane? Not too sure. He's joined straight into the thick of things, but already the leaders good start in towards turn 1, and a congested midfield all through 1 cleanly and all through turn 2 cleanly as well. Fantastic to see at the moment that it is Muth who I believe is the leader out front from Garcia. That is Nopal in the wall. Just missed that one as I looked at my timing screen. It's Vicente and here P14 at the moment as Garcia. Wow. Well, missed his braking zone, an absolute mile, but there is chaos in the background. That is half the entire field who are off at the hairpin of turn 1, and it is just mayhem back there. Everybody trying to get going, and it is all gone wrong for everybody back there. Farland is out, Grieser is out, Jatatis is out already in this race. Ritiani is a lap down, it's saying on the timing screens as well, so he's pretty much out. Oh dear, not the way that these drivers would have wanted to start. There's another car wide, and round he goes. Hopes to keep it stationary, bounces off the wall, and that is Fernandez, who returns to pit. He's now out of the race. We've already lost 4 drivers with 1 a lap down. Green on the outside line then of Hinweist. Can he get it done at the stadium section? No, he can't. Great opportunity for him to have a look around the outside, but it was never going to work. And Hinweist there manages to keep hold of that P7 position, P8 position. Makhmutov, P7, wants to stay on the back of the leaders here so he can get through. Sepanyan then, currently P4. It is a finish 3, 4 and 5 here as Hack has got away, but it is Sepanya and Sepinen then who are fighting it out for 4th and 5th. Obviously the top 6 go through. Nopal is also in the pit lane, so he looks out of this race as well. So we've already lost 6 drivers from this race immediately, and we've only started the second lap. It's a 10-minute race here. Trojan now P14, work to recover, 10 minutes, he's got 5 minutes less than the heat. He's got to now try and come back at Tyler Klausch and gain 11 seconds on the rest of the pack. Big ask for him today, but obviously all a learning curve for these drivers going forward into the next Challenger League iRacing event. Daniel Muth here, the VR man himself, is leading the way, the German driver, putting on a fine display, half a second ahead of Garcia, looking to get into that final. Driving for the Nürburgring Esports, and Dive Bomb Racing is Garcia. And I love the fact that the Dive Boom, is all in capital letters. Hike then, big mistake, another man with a VR headset. Not sure if he was helped around there, but has dropped out of that top 6, and that puts Makhmutov into it with Plesky. And there is Makhmutov, P6 at the moment on the back of Plesky and the Finnish driver of Hanpe. Again, apologies for the pronunciations to all the drivers. Feel free to get in touch with me on Instagram and tell me how your name is actually pronounced. That is going to be a big help as the season goes on. But Makhmutov here, absolutely flying. He had a good race last time out. He's now on the back then of Plesky as they come in towards turn 2. Not close enough to make a move at the moment, but gains. Look at the gaining, the closing speed there under the braking, lets it roll through, and that could put him now in a real good window, right in that slipstream of Plesky just in front. Does he pull to the inside? He might do now. Yes, he does. Plesky doesn't even feel like covering him off here then, and he's gonna let Makhmutov have that run down towards the hairpin corner. Shoulder to shoulder, Plesky later on the brakes than Makhmutov, but Makhmutov gets it turned in, stopped, and done. Fantastic move that. Plesky moves down to P6, Hinweis then P7 just on the back, as is Hack and Green. And we are down to 16 drivers then, as Nopal is P16 and last. Here is David Vicente down in P10, just outside that P6 opportunity. You can see P6 as well. He has got Spetgens on the back of him, and he is right on the back of Green, who had a decent showing in that first heat. He was obviously pretty quick in the practice session as well. Muth 1.2 out front, good gap. Then Garcia's got a big gap over Sepanian in P3, but this is Vicente on the back of Green for 9th and 10th. 3 seconds off the back of that P6 of Plesky, who's coming under pressure from Hinweist as well. So opportunities here for drivers to maybe just get into that final 6th place position as we enter the final half of this consolation final, the B final. And it is fantastic to see this fantastic action around the Hockenheim ring. And who's that now in the pit? That's Galtsev in the pit lane. That's another one from this race who is out. Down to 16 drivers left then. Oh, he's had a tap. Vicente's had a tap. And that was Spetgens from behind who has spun him around. He's out of the race. Well, I don't believe it. Down to 14 drivers we're down to, being told in my ear that he chose to return to pits. Hanpe, has also had a moment. He's dropped out of the top 6. Hinweis moves into it. So we are down to 14 drivers. Now, who's this side by side? Plesky and Hinweis, 5th and 6th, going at it. Hinweis looks to go back up the inside, can't get it done, manages to get it stopped though, no contact made there, beautifully done from both drivers. Garcia's got the gap just over a second, he was just under a second a moment ago. There it goes again, so ebbing and flowing as Garcia's trying to gain on Muth. Obviously the top 6 qualify here. Here is Garcia. On the back of, trying to get on the back of Muth, well ahead of Sepanian for P3. He's got a good bit of breathing space as well to Makhmutov, who's now up into P4, but Hinweis here, up 15 positions to try and find that space in the final. He's got 2 seconds back to Hanpe then. And a lot of drivers are dropping out of this race. Let's take a look at a few replays from the start. It was a great start, middle of the pack, bit of contact between a few drivers, managed to get each other straightened up and into turn 1. Nicely done from everybody there. A few cars obviously running wide as it's all a bit congested coming through. And then Nope getting spun around into the wall backwards, out the race. And again, just 10-pin bowling, and he's strike there because he's taken half the grid with him. And it just hasn't gone well for him, just so late on the brakes. 3 or 4, 5 even wide going into that hairpin corner there, and as it funnels in, it just doesn't go well. Torgerson was involved in that. And again, just as everybody rejoins the race, you know, everybody being a little impatient. Fernandez losing out on his own. We saw that one over the sausage curb, bounces off the wall, does well to get on the brakes and not let the car roll onto the circuit. And then the one we've just saw, Vicente being spun around and returning to the pit lane there. So we're down to 14 drivers. 12th place. Is that Tyler Klaus just in front? Yeah, and then it is Rattiani in P12 on the back of Klaus. You see the damage to the front of Klaus's car, it looked like there. Probably from earlier incidents, and he's very wide through there, so maybe just the handling not being helped. And who's that? That is Hamper then, who'd already dropped out the top 6. That is Green, I believe, with him. So maybe are coming together as they enter the stadium section. There is Tyler Klaus just coming through, and as Green gets back going. And who's that? Makhmutov's in the pits. So he was P4, he's in the pit lane. Has he picked up a drive-through penalty? Not quite sure. Yeah, I believe he has. Look, he's coming straight through. Oh, he was running P4 and is now dropped out of that top 4. Tried to extract every bit of pace there by rocking in the simulator through turn 1 for Spetgens, but Makhmutov down in P8. What has he done? Has he just pushed the limits? We're on to the final lap of this race, and Muth, by the way, within now half a second of Garcia, so a battle for the lead to get through to the grand final at the end, and Garcia putting Muth under some pressure. There you see Sepagna in the background. Have these two been fighting enough that Sepagna's been able to catch back up, and now Garcia under some pressure. No, Garcia's got past Muth, apologies. So has Muth had a problem? As Garcia leads this race. So not sure what has happened to Muth there, but Garcia leads this one on the final lap of the race. 15 seconds left as they come into the stadium section now. Top 6 will get into that final, let's not forget, and already it's been a chaos race really. 13 finishes from 22 starters in this one. And Muth at the very end, a mistake possibly, not sure, but it's going to be Marc Garcia to take the race win and will put himself into then that grand final at the end of today. Muth P2, Sepagnan P3, Hinweiss then will come across for 4th place, Plesky P6, and Hack, who probably didn't think he was in for that top 6 with Makhmutov there, comes across 6th. Spetgens P7, Makhmutov P8, Klaus P9, Rattiani P10, Green 11th, Torsion P12, and Nopel P13. That then was the end of the B final, the consolation final, if you will, as everybody now moves into that grand final taste. Don't forget, it was the top 8 from Heat 1, it was the top 8 from Heat 2, and the top 6 from the B final that you've just seen there. Fantastic racing there. A lot of drama in that B final that we saw, and it was interesting to see that these drivers all having them few incidents and just being a little lungy at the hairpin, trying to get that top 6. Obviously, that bit of prize money on stake today. It means them drivers obviously want to help, bit of funding going forward throughout their iRacing seasons and on other sim racing things. It's fantastic action though here at the Hockenheim ring as we prepare then for this grand final. Remember once again the prize money for today, the Challenge League, 125 euros for the race winner, 75 euros for 2nd place, and 50 euros for 3rd place. So a lot of money on store for these drivers to take home with them as the drivers will get ready to get onto the grid. It's been a fantastic day of racing here in the first ever Racing Unleashed iRacing series. Obviously, we will be back in 2 weeks' time for the Racer League challenge of the event. The same cars, same tracks, same format of the racing going forward throughout the season. Different formats may come into play, different cars, different circuits as well. So it's going to be interesting. Keep your eyes out on the social medias. Obviously, Racing Unleashed on Instagram, Twitter, to find out what will happen. As you can see behind me, just some of the action and the drama from today's event. Some great overtaking, great racing, and really has been a fantastic day already as we get ready for the grand final And it is going to be a 20-minute feature race. So this is going to be absolutely interesting to see and fascinating to see, really, what these drivers are going to do. They've got the extra 5 minutes from the heat to go through. For the drivers who just obviously came from Heat 1, Heat 2, and then the B final, they've been in their simulators for a while. Obviously, they're probably used to being in for a lot longer than this. That momentum. It's all about carrying that momentum through. For the likes of Pennington and Sabota, have all had a little break in between. They've now got to get refocused as they climb into their simulators at their home and get to do what they do. Great racing, great format from Racing Unleashed. Indeed, it is. It is brilliant to see here in our fantastic categories. Obviously, as well, in 2 weeks' time, you'll want to join us live for the Assetto Corsa special event. Good bit of prize money, as a good offer, for a good prize on offer, should I say, for that one, as well as the racing. The Racer League in 2 weeks' time. What a few drivers. I've seen some of the names on the list for that one. That looks an exciting one. I know a few from last year's Racing Unleashed ventures. And so the grid order being set, everybody being put into their positions before we get underway. We do get into the finals indeed. This is now where things get serious, and this is where the final classifications will take place throughout the rest of the day. A lot on store for these drivers then. So again, fortnight's time, 2 weeks' time, Racer League will be back here at the Hockenheim ring. We'll be here in our fantastic studio here at the Apex Racing facilities, bringing you all the action of the Racer League, as well as a bit of a doubleheader next Saturday. We do the Assetto Corsa event as well, which is going to be fantastic to you. You will not want to miss that one then. Looks like we're getting ready for the grid. And I do believe it will be in the order of they finished in the heat. So it will be Shop who will lead the way from Luke Pennington going from P2. Sabota P3 with Lon in 4th place. Gomez P5 with Sardini in 6th. Badger will go from 7th. Harry Maynard P8. Jocelyn in 9th with Christoph Holstein 10th. Soltero is P11 with Berger P12. And the bottom half of the field then, it is Augustin Torlacci going from 13th place. Demori P14. Shiva Nath 15th place with Tim van Grunsven. He will go from P16. Garcia 17th with Muth 18th. Sepanian 19th. Hinweist P20. Plesky and then Hack rounding out the grid. So this is going to be great to see. Everybody's excited for the final. We are excited for the final. It is going to be a great bit of anticipation. The lights come on now. And we are green and go here for the start of the final race of the afternoon. Great start from somebody on the third row. That is Pennington, who's got bogged down and already a spinner into the pit wall. Collects a couple in the backfield. And there's a bit of chaos before we've even got to turn one. Luke Pennington, who had a demon start in the heat, has not had such a good start here. But Shop, Sabota, they resume their heat battle. 20 minutes, let it commence. Lorne is P3. Then it is Gomez. And more spinners, more dramas through turn 2. Cars coming across the circuit here. Hinweis manages to avoid the chaos. And another one. Another one in the background, I believe, is that Maynard who's had a problem. It might be Sepanian then. But this is Shop already defending from Sabota. That is Pennington going wheel to wheel with Gomez for 4th and 5th on the outside of the hairpin. Can't get the cutback. He's too deep. Is another driver further down the order. We all get through the hairpin okay. That is fine this time round. It was just turn 1 and 2. So Pennington putting pressure on Gomez. Sabota putting pressure on Shop. Here is Plesky up 5 places into 16th place in his orange and white liveried car. Shop, who was under pressure from Sabota all race until Sabota made the mistake, has got that pressure once again, and it is now Lorne, who is P3, trying to go with him. Pennington, I'm sure, would love to be at the front. He dominated his heat. Can he make his way towards the front of this pack? He's got ahead of Gomez. There's a spinner, and I believe it's Lorne. Lost it on his own on the outside curb, coming through the right-hander and tumbles down the standings. And he has to be careful where he rejoins mid-corner. Gets on now. Nice and safe and easy as you go. Gomez. That is Jocelyn, who again has had another moment. He had a moment in the heats. Fought through the pack absolutely fantastically. Muth is in the pit lane. Oh, steady. Them tyres are going to be a little warm after spinning it around like that. Shot, though, half a second ahead of Sabota, but now it's Pennington in P3. His dominance in that Heat 2. Can it come to the frontier in the final? Muth out the pits. Was it a drive-through penalty? Maybe a jump start for Muth there. Then we're on to lap 2 of this race. Half a second separating the leaders as we go, and it is Shop versus Sabota. As we saw in Heat 1, here is Sardini then. Having a look to the inside. No, can't do anything there. Just a little look on Berger. Really closes up under the braking. As Demori, and he's just lost out there to Maynard's got past. As is Holstein and Sapanian, then Plesky, as Plesky had a mistake. As Nath is out the race. Shame for Nath, that is. And now Demori looking to the outside as Henweist and Soltero, have a great fight side by side. Is Demori now going to try and capitalise? He's going to try and make it 3 wide. This is brave from Demori, makes it 3 wide. The car in the middle backs out. Demori still side by side, and that is now with Henweist still together all over the curve. There's now a 4th car joining in this. That is Torlaci, I do believe, in the back. Oh, in a moment. And Demori's been shunted off coming into the stadium. That was by Harry Maynard. Got a little out of shape straight into the side of Demori. And Sardini then has also dropped down the pack at the penultimate corner. So I'm not sure what has happened to him, but for Maynard there, straight into the side of Demori, tumbling him down the standings. And now Van Grunsven up into P7 on the back of Berger. He's got Henweist and Torlaci all over the back of him. Henweist having a look then up in the inside to turn 2. Still side by side, try to both keep it as tight as he can. That's going to allow Van Grunsven then through into turn 3 to stay side by side. Torlaci's watching on in the background, right in that slipstream now of Henweist he is. Henweist still bumper to bumper. So Van Grunsven's still got to be respectful as they come to the hairpin. Just managing to get that momentum. It's now front wheel to rear wheel. And it is now fully side by side in a battle for the lead. Sabota and Sop side by side out to the hairpin. Through the right-hander, Shop has to go the longer way around. Keeps it still in P1. And again, a fantastic display of driving from these two out front. Pennington is gaining on the back of them. And I do believe Henweist managed to get the position. He did look over Van Grunsven then. So Augustin Torlaci wasn't able to get involved, but Henweist makes it through to P7. Absolutely fantastic. Great fighting here in the final today. 4.75 minutes gone out of 20. Harry Maynard side by side. That is with Soltero. Still battling into the stadium. Soltero's going to go up the inside now. Harry Maynard has to go wide as the corner just kind of cambers down. Maynard manages to come back through, but a contact. All okay though there. Maynard still trying to look underneath at the final corner, a bit more shoulder to shoulder. Rubbins racing, they say, and he goes through, does Harry Maynard. And that has brought Plesky into play as well. Oh, really bouncing over the sausage curb through turn 1 was Maynard there. Good train of cars for behind P10. But it is a 1/10.5 between Sabota and Shop as they come down towards the hairpin one more time. Shop has not looked flustered all race. He forces Sabota to the outside once again. He's done this in the heat. He's done this already today. Shop early on the brakes, and Sabota, you see, who's later on the brakes around the outside, manages to get the power down quicker. Does Shop, not by much so, because Sabota's still going to stick it side by side. Is this going to give him the momentum to go right around like Shop did last time out? Sabota on the outside. Shop gives him plenty of racing room. This is brilliant stuff. And Sabota has that inside line now. Does he take the race lead? No, he doesn't, because Shop manages to get a better run, who now has the inside for the right-hander. Pennington's watching on as he gains momentum over the pair of them. Still together, and now Sabota has to back in. Fantastic battle. Pennington fancies a look around the outside of the right-hand bend now. Cannot make it stick though. And now Pennington's involved, looking up the inside into the stadium. Look at this, great fighting. Sabota's had to go so wide to avoid the back of Shop, and Pennington is through. Up into P2. Fantastic bit of racing that from Pennington. Gomez not far off the back. He's only 2 seconds behind. What a bit of driving. This is absolutely brilliant to see. Sabota now drops down to P3 as they all clatter the sausage curb coming through turn 1. 7 minutes gone in this race, still 13 minutes to go. We can just catch our breath for a moment, because you get the feeling it's all going to happen again here. Not the cleanest of exits through turn 2 there for Sabota. Here is Torlachi down in P9, up 4 places though from his grid spot. He's going to try and catch onto the back of Van Grunsven, who hasn't been able to come back at Hinweist. He's lost a bit of time to Hinweist, who's trying to hunt down Berger. Torlachi has a look, no more than that. Sardini as well. Oh, locks up the front right to try and not collect the back of Plesky there, and he does well to not collect the back of Plesky. All nicely through. Good respect from each driver on show here in the final race. Now, Shop is under pressure from the man who disappeared in Heat 2. It is Luke Pennington. Where's the fastest lap of the race like? Not quite sure at the moment. I believe it is the way of... I can't quite figure out who that one is the way of. It might be that of Sabota in P3. But now for Shop, whose best lap is only a 1:42.0, so we know he's got more pace than that, but he's just not been able to display it because he's been defending the entire time. Here, there we go, a 1:40.6 as Pennington now pumps in a 1:40.4. So that'll be the new fastest lap of the race. And Pennington, 0.2 quicker last time around, going to try and get himself into that slipstream of Shop. And we've seen Shop defend the hairpin absolutely beautifully all day long. He's just got 11 minutes to hang in there, really. Demori moves up to 16th place against Hack. That's down in 16th and 17th. But here comes Pennington. Shop to that inside line. The line he's gone all day. Pennington fancies his chances. Locks up, he's gone straight on. And you see the disappointment in his return to the pits. He's given that one up, but because Shop has had to avoid him, Sabota is now up the inside, coming through the right-hander. Can Shop keep it around the outside? He'll now have the inside line for the next part. And I believe Shop should be able to keep hold of this. I'm not sure, though. Bit of contact there. Sabota now takes the lead. And now Gomez is involved. Shop's coming back at him. What a fantastic battle as they enter the stadium section of the circuit. Shop up the inside, easy as you like, moved on. It's not finished though, because Sabota's still there as they enter the stadium. And like Pennington did a few laps ago, Sabota now takes the race lead, and now Gomez is there for a fight. Edward Gomez is there for a fight. As let's have a look at a few replays if we can. This was the start line then, and contact in the back part of the field. Nath, I believe that's why he is retired from the race. Holstein at turn 2, gets spun around, manages to avoid everybody, luckily there. Rejoined, nearly lost it in front of the rest of the pack. And yeah, lost it all on his own. We saw that, Larney there. Henry Jocelyn, we saw him ahead of a moment. Was there contact? There was. And around she goes. And that's why Jocelyn tumbled down the order. This was the 3 wide battle earlier. Middle car backs out of it rightly so. It was a great scrap. And then we're going to see some contact as they enter the stadium here. Look, just got all out of shape on the grass. Bang. Demori goes wide and off. Ah, that is what happened earlier on. We saw him rejoining just after Demori went off there. And then this was the... is that the hairpin? This is... I'm quite sure who that is. Car number 24. It is it's Savoda, sorry. Again. Harry Maynard. Ah, this was what we saw as well, just where he kind of gets a little bit of a tap. Good little battle. It's just rubbing back and forth between the two of them. And it is good shoulder-to-shoulder racing. And Harry Maynard got that position done. You can see Harry Maynard's actually having a good little scrap on the live action. This was the lead battle then. As we can see, this was Shop about to lose out to Sabota. Keeps it up the inside. No, this is, sorry, before we lost out to Sabota. Apologies. This was as Pennington came involved. Look, Pennington going up the inside into the stadium. And that was a great move from Pennington, really, before he got on the brakes a little too late. So Pennington out the race, Nath out the race, Torlachi P9. And now can Shop put pressure on Sabota. So for the first time, Sabota leads. And now Shop has got to stop defending. He's got to start attacking. What a race. Pennington, though, outbraked himself and immediately just called that one a day, retired from the race. Didn't try and spin it around and fancy getting back in. Who's this? This is Torlachi having a fantastic fight this with Heinworth then. In P8, he's got past Maynard. As Maynard's looking to come back at him. They're almost 3 wide. Maynard up the inside of Torlachi. Great room giving from Augustin. And still side by side is Harry Maynard and Augustin Torlachi here. And a queue of cars in the background. Who's that? That is Lana, I do believe. Side by side now. That is, Soltero. Side by side with Maynard. Maynard keeps hold of that position. Soltero tries to tuck back underneath, but I don't think he's going to get it done because it's going to be, unless he can now. Great move. Soltero didn't think that was on. He's lost it. All on his own. Carried a bit too much speed through the corner and has lost the rear of the car. Oh, what a shame, because that was a lovely little battle. Christoph Holstein there goes through for P17. Back to the front, though. Sabota and Shop still going at it, but you feel like Sabota just has that upper hand. You felt he's had a bit more pace in him. Last time around, Sabota a 10th quicker. Now, obviously, he's now got to be the one who tries to put Sabota... Shop was quicker. He's got to put Sabota under some pressure now. With 5.5 minutes left to go in this race. Top 3, Sabota, Shop, Gomez. They'll be the 3 to take home a bit of prize money at the end of today. And as well, the first iRacing Challenge League win of the season. Lovely done. You just hear how patient these guys have to be on the throttle of these Cup cars. So easy to have a little moment, a little wiggle, and round she can go, as well as pushing it to the extreme limits. Just patient again on the throttle, lets it roll through the corner. Doing a great job keeping that gap to around 4 seconds at the moment. At 0.4 of a second, sorry. Gomez he got onto the back of these two, but he's not been able to stay with them. He's fell off the back a little bit. So Pennington and Nath are 2 retirements from this race. Matching each other there. 0.003 of a second. Shop was quicker than Sabota. But Gomez, again, yeah, just 0.3 slower, so he's not got the pace to stick with the 2 leaders. Sardini is in the pits. Is this a drive-through penalty? What a shame. He's been in the thick of things in this final race, as Sardini there. Yeah, drive-through penalty. Use this. This is Jocelyn and Plesky side by side into turn 2. Jocelyn gets the move done. Demori's going to try and follow him through and get the momentum on Plesky. They're side by side. Plesky, though, he's going to have that slipstream. Oh, and then Demori has spun him round. Plesky, hands on heads, gathers his steering wheel and tries to point it in the right direction. Now Shop's on the back of Sabota. And now we get to see what Shop's attacking ability is. Really gains on the exit of the corner there. Sabota just has to be patient, tries to outbrake him, doesn't want to do it too much and have a mistake cause an incident. Shop looking once again. Not going to get it done there. Just hear him gearing down. A little too early possibly, because he immediately geared straight back up. And the pressure he's now got to put Sabota under, because it's late in the race. So if he can get this done as late as possible, has a moment, loses all that momentum through the penultimate corner, gathers it back nicely though. So we're just seeing from Shop here, he's just got to start. He's got to keep his cool and composure, but he also needs to keep that pressure on. The moment that pressure gets too much, the mistakes start to creep in. As now Maynard's in the pit lane. So what is Maynard in the pit lane for? He's had a drive-through penalty, not sure. Oh, Maynard, and who else is that? That is Garcia. in pit road as well. Oh, well, that is their day done, really. They're going to tumble down towards the back of the pack. Maynard's come out 15th. Garcia's going to come out around that 18th place mark, yeah. And here comes Shop, pulls out, looks to the inside. Is he going to think of sending one? He does. Gets it stopped on the apex. Little deeper than he'd have liked, but a great manoeuvre there. What a manoeuvre from Shop. Lunges from a mile back. Sabota sees him coming. Great respect from the pair of them. These two had a great battle all day long. This has been fantastic to watch from the pair of them all day. The heat and the final. And now Shop, with 2 and a bit minutes on the clock, leads this race. And there will be one more after this to go. Fantastic fight. And Shop now is back in the lead. Where's Gomez in all of this? 1.6 behind. He's not in this fight for the top 2 for the race win. We round the final corner and we have one more to go. This will be the final lap of the race. Sabota has 1 lap to do it. He has 1 opportunity left to do it. Badger is actually gaining on the back of Gomez as well. That gap's only 0.7 of a second with 1 lap to go. And that will be for the final podium position. So keep your eyes on them 2 cars in the background. There is Badger and Gomez. Gomez, the green car in P3. Badger, the blue and green car in P4. So battle for the lead, battle for the podium. It is heat on for the last lap of the race, down towards a hairpin, 0.3 of a second. That gap is closing ever so slightly with that slipstream and that toe. Shop goes to defend. Sabota's been forced to the outside. He's been here all too many times by Shop today. Tries to tuck underneath, parks it on the apex, an absolute peach. Gets the momentum out the corner, great run. And Shop now has half a lap, just over half a lap left to go to hang on to this race lead. Sabota's going to try and do everything he can. And we might see him a bit more aggressive in this one. As now look behind Badger and Gomez side by side. Badger's going to try and get through, and he does. Now, yes, nearly contact made between the pair of them. But Jack Badger gets on the podium there. Great drive at the very end for him. Now what about Sabota? 2/10 in it. Is he going to think of a late move? Gomez coming back at Badger. Can't do it there. And a Shop, he's got about 4 corners left to go. 1, 2. I think he's going to hold on. What's happened to Badger and Gomez? Berger's on the podium. Gomez and Badger have came together. And it is going to be Shop who takes the Challenger League win here at the Hockenheim ring with Sabota P2. Great fight between the pair of them. And it is going to be Berger, a surprise P3. Van Grunsen P4. Hinweiss P5. Torlaccio Cross for P6. Badger only P7 from Gomez 8th. Larney in P9. Jocelyn looks like he's going to come home for 10th. But Jack Badger, what happened at the end of that race? Because he was sat on the podium and him and Gomez, contact must have been made. But for Shop and Sabota, look at these two. Rightly so, side by side. Together as they go. And it is a brilliant start to this one. We are going to bring you the replay of the P3 crash. So it is... this is Gomez going up the inside originally, bounces off the sausage curb on 2 wheels. Sorry, that is Badger going into the side of Gomez. Nearly contact made there. So Badger's already come off the sausage curb once. Gomez now going to try and come back at him into the stadium. Oh, and they both lose it on their own. I don't think there's any contact made there. And that is absolutely fantastic. I don't think any contact was made at the very end there. I think Badger and Gomez just possibly too quick into the corner themselves. And both round they go. And that cost them both the podium there then and gives it to Berger as well at the end. But for Shop and Sabota, what a fantastic drive. They battled hard in the heat. They've battled hard in the final. It was absolutely brilliant to see. A really great day of racing. a few incidents as well throughout the day, but what a day. Let's take a look at the final classifications. And Pascal Schopp, P1, Sabota, P2, Berger. Well, fortunistic maybe, but on the podium for him. Van Grunsven, P4, Hinwijs, P5, Torlacci 6th, Badger 7th with Gomez 8th, Lana and Jocelyn rounding out the top 10. Sapanian 11th, Holstein 12th, Soltero P13, Maynard 14th, Sardini 15th, Garcia, Plesky, Muth, Damori, Hack, Pennington and Nath. The final classification, and Pennington and Nath retired. Obviously we saw Pennington had that big lunge at the end, which ruined his chances of the race win, and decided to call it today from there. Didn't fancy trying to fight back through the field. What a fantastic fight that was between every driver on the grid, though. We can speak to the top 3 drivers. We are going to Miroslav Sabota first, so I believe we can speak with Miroslav. Miroslav, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Well done on the second place. What a fight that was in that race.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was an amazing race for me. At one point, I actually thought that I'm gonna win, but yeah, well, I kind of destroyed my rear tires, and yeah.
It was a good heat. You was kind of behind Schopp all day long in the heat, and then in the final, you got your moment to take the lead. But rear tires, was that just the problem that you couldn't hang on in there at the end?
Yeah, probably. Also the confidence, probably, because this was my first race like on an international scene outside of Czechoslovak Championship. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Great experience indeed, and obviously position 2, bit of prize money to come your way as well. So a good day for yourself.
Yeah, definitely a good day.
Well, Miroslav, congratulations on the second place. Great to have you on the international scene as well. We hope to see you again in the future, and best of luck for the rest of the year.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. We will see next race.
We will indeed. Miroslav there, P2 in this one. And we are going to try Pascal Schopp then, who is your race winner. Pascal, race win for you. It was a hard race, though, for yourself.
Yeah, it was very hard for me. Yeah, but was very hard and a very nice fight.
It was a nice fight. You was defending from Miroslav all in the heat and all in the race. Talk us through the part with Pennington, because we saw Pennington have a bit of a dive bomb at the hairpin. Did that catch you off guard a little bit?
Yes, a little bit. I don't know where he is, and then I slow down and take the wider line and hope I can take pole again.
You managed to get the race win. Miroslav saying his tyres was gone at the end on the rear. Was your tyres okay towards the end of that race? Because it looked like you was pretty much in control of that.
Yeah, I think the tires was no problem, because only 20-minute race, I have no problems with the tires.
And obviously I've seen you in the Racing Unleashed sort of studios before, and it's, finally nice to see you out on the circuit.
Yeah, sure, nice.
Well, congratulations, Pascal, on the race win today. Very well done. Look forward to seeing more from you as the races come by.
Thanks.
Brilliant job there from Pascal, your race winner, and Miroslav as well. And we've got Misha Berger now, who is P3. Misha, congratulations on the podium. I bet you didn't expect to get that one.
For sure not. Thanks a lot. I had a super start. I managed to avoid the carnage that happened in turn 1, and I was, I think, up to P6, and then I had a massive lock up in the hairpin, and I thought this race over, but somehow kept my head down and was waiting for something to happen at the end of the race, and that's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. It just shows to go to the very end of the race and always make sure you get into that end. Good race from yourself, though. Obviously, inside that top 6 at the start, like you say, a bit of a good start from yourself. Can you improve on that as the races go by? Obviously, later in the year.
It's hard to say. I mean, I didn't have too much practice for this one, but I was driving a lot of pickup in the past, so it's like felt at home. But I don't know what the future brings, so we'll have to see and figure it out. But I'm definitely excited to see the combos and also see the other drivers, if they're strong in every car or if it changes from race to race. It's a really cool series.
It is a cool series. Would you say that the Cup car was sort of a car that you felt comfortable getting into, or is there a certain car going forward that you may feel more comfortable in?
I definitely felt comfortable in the pickup because, like I said, I drove it for a long time. But there's a lot of cool cars on the service, and sometimes you're stuck within one car and then you keep driving it because of leaks and because you see a chance to improve your iRating. So it's super nice to kind of be forced or pushed into these other cars, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm open to anything, excited to what will happen, and will enjoy the learning.
Well, a very good job on the P3 today on the podium for yourself, and we hope to see more from you as the year goes on. Congratulations on the podium.
Thank you so much.
There. That then is the top driver interview there. That's the top 3 driver interviews there. So once again, it was Pascal Schopp, your race winner, Miroslav Sabota P2, and Miška Berger P3. Then we obviously come back in 2 weeks' time. It is the Porsche 911 Cup car for the Racer League drivers to get their hand on the Hockenheim ring and in this Porsche Cup car to see what they can do. As well as in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back for Assetto Corsa on the Saturday for a special event with a chance to win a prize of driving around the famous Ascari circuit that Francisco Fernandez mentioned earlier in the programme. We look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time. From all of us here at Racing Unleashed, I've been Matthew Duffin. Goodbye.